baby boy. Don't grow up too quick.
Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Now this is like a real conversation. This is like one of those things, like one of those real, like, legit serious moments. Okay, I remember like earlier, Remy Ma was celebrating her 40, I believe it was her 43rd birthday, and she said that she's actually 35, because she never counts the years that she was in prison. She said that basically she's getting a second chance. Remy served 6 years in prison, until like 2014. Although she was like sentenced to like 8 years, after being charged with assault in 2008, she actually only served 6 years. But it definitely left a mark, and it's been a part of just her every day, and how she promotes and what she tells young girls and what she tells people, like, live your life, because you just never know what's going to happen. And I think that a lot of things stuck out to me about her entire journey.
I mean, my sisters Remy and Monique are both part of my bridal party. Nevertheless, I haven't really been speaking to them that much in the past couple of months, ever since my sister Ray Monique blamed me for not being there for her while I was in prison, as if I went to jail on purpose. Don't act like we cool. We is not cool. It's your wedding. It's your big day. It's all about you. Honestly, I'm over it. I'm just tired of arguing, tired of fighting with you. But I feel like this is how our conversations always go when we're like this. Growing up, I was like a mother figure to Ray Monique, so I could only imagine how hard it must have been for her with me being away in prison for all those years. But that wasn't my choice, and it does not give her the right to disrespect me. After you got locked up, I used to write you all the time. And you used to write me doing that. Like, oh, how could you do this? You had everything. You was on top, and now this is what you do. You just threw your life away.
I was 16.
You used to be throwing.
I felt that way because I felt like I needed you, and you wasn't there.
A lot of people, not just you, a lot of people were doing things and saying things to me because I was in prison, because they knew I couldn't physically come over there, I couldn't physically be there.
I was very pissed off.
I could have been the same petty me, like, I'm having my one sister be my bridesmaid, my cousin, and that's it. I didn't want that. That's all I'm saying. You're my sister, and I love you, okay? Come. I love you too. Let's be clear here. I love my little sister Ray Monique to death, regardless of all the and foul stuff she did to me while I was in prison. I want her to be able to look up to me as a big sister, as someone who's been through stuff, made mistakes, changed their life, and is just moving on for the better.
I felt like when you went away, that did some crazy to me, and I'm so sorry that I said that.
I remember like how hard it was for Remy just going through that process, and how it just completely took a lot of strength for her to get past that, and how deep it is in her life, and how she, consistently talks about moving forward and just keeping her head up and just moving, and like, hey, I'm not going to make these mistakes anymore. I'm going to keep it pushing. I'm going to be okay. She strives each and every day to just be an example to women and young girls that you don't have to fall into that same path. And it just kind of made me think about her son. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Remy Ma's 23-year-old son has been arrested over the 2021 shooting of a man in Queens. The NYPD basically said this on Wednesday. Jayson Scott and another man, Richard, I don't know how to say his last name right, so I'm just gonna not say it, but he's 22. They was taken in for first degree murder charges on Tuesday night, 3 years after the 43-year-old Darius was gunned down in the brazen broad daylight attack. Now, this is absolutely crazy.
Exclusive breaking news.
The victim was blasted in the head and the chest when the shooting broke out at the interstate of 148th Street and Rockaway Boulevard in Springfield Gardens back on June 7, 2021. Now, Remy Ma is reacting to her son's arrest, telling TMZ, "We stand by Jayson's innocence and pray that the NYPD will conduct a complete and thorough investigation to reveal the truth. This is undoubtedly a difficult time for my family and me." This is all Remy saying. Like, she's saying that. While we sincerely appreciate the love and support we have received from all of you, we kindly ask for privacy as our legal team works to prove Jayson's innocence. Child, they had a capital with the S, Jayson's, but Jason's innocence. Remy's son is being represented by attorney Dawn Florio. I think that's how you say her last name. And Remy says that via the law office, as his mother, I want to address this situation personally, but have been strongly advised by his legal counsel not to say anything, as most people in similar situations are informed by their attorneys to do. Is because it is currently an active case, so she can't really say much because she's being advised not to. Now, Remy Ma's oldest son, her oldest child, and basically another man, right? So her oldest child and another man are being accused of first-degree murder. They're currently in police custody. Ciao. Now, according to law enforcement, Remy, 23-year-old son Jayson Scott was arrested on Wednesday and charged with first-degree murder in connection to the 2021 killing. And he was hit with like other charges too. So it was 2 counts of weapon possession and reckless endangerment.
Our children took every step of this journey with us. And I just feel so good being able to have my son Jace walk me down the aisle and hand me over to the other important man in my life. I just wanted to let you know that I'm very, very proud of you. And I love the bond that we're creating. I feel like we're getting back to where we was before I went away for that long, long period of time. And to be honest, I really, really felt like that time was going to affect the relationship that we had. And that, I don't know, like, you was gonna hate me. Like, a lot of people, like, they didn't get to see their kids, and they weren't there for their kids, and their kids hated them, they resented them. And, like, you don't give me that. Jace always encouraged me and told me how much of a great mom I was and how much he loved me. And for that, you know, I love him even more than I already did, which I don't even know how that's possible. I wanted to be there for you, and I felt like a lot of times that I wasn't able to be there for you, so. And if you wasn't, you was there when I needed you. Glad you feel like that. I love you. I love you.
Now, it seems like the police feels as though Jayson and this other man definitely did it. However, they do not seem so sure. Like, they're trying to figure out what the motive would be. Like, they're still building the case. And I think that, you know, there's a lot that falls in the way while figuring this all out. However, it is definitely heartbreaking because it's horrible to see that her son is kind of dealing with some of the same issues that she had. I remember Remy was going for attempted murder, and now her son first-degree murder. Like, it's just, I can't even fathom how she feels at this moment. I feel so bad for her because she has to relive a lot of the traumas. And when you come from a situation or a place like that, to see your baby, your son, be placed in that type of situation is horrible.
I had everything taken away from me. When I was sitting in that cell, I wasn't in there praying for a song. I was praying for my son. I was praying for my husband. I was praying for my family. I was praying for my sanity. So I don't give a about this rap.
And it makes me really sit back and think, like, what was his experience while his mother was locked up? You know, like, was he in the hood? You know, because I think that when Remy went to jail, that the money wasn't being made. You know, I feel as though they were back in the hood. I feel as though they were suffering. You know, they weren't being like as taken care of as they would have been if Remy was home. You know, so I think that, you know, a lot of resentment came from the family side. Her son didn't really resent her. Her son, like, wasn't upset or anything. Like, he masked it very well, maybe because he's a male, I don't know, but he's not taking it in or blaming her. But it seems as though, like, he had a different experience, you know, for that to be his reality, for him to go down like the same path that his mom went down on. It just seems like as though he was like surrounded with it, like he couldn't shake it. He wasn't given a fair chance, because the fact that this is his reality, or this is even something that has like even happen or would happen to him, is very heartbreaking. And it makes me feel like the time that she was away, when, you know, Papoose was saying how all the roaches, you know, spread and everybody like basically turned their back on her, it made me feel like, man, her son was definitely having to show that he was this type of, like, you know, he could handle certain things, or he could stand on his own. He wasn't having that protection of a mom, and he had to grow up really fast.
Basically, when she caught the case and blew trial, you know, when you go in the kitchen and you turn the lights in the hood and all the roaches scatter? That's what happened. Everybody scattered. The whole team, everybody went in a different direction.
She went in.
when she caught the case, because when you catch a case, you're in a bad light.
Right.
So nobody want to be around you, nobody want to fuck with you really. You know what I'm saying? So everybody scattered, but when everybody in the process of everybody scattering and turning their back on her, it was a lot of different things that needed to be handled. And she was behind the G-wall, so she couldn't do nothing. So I was doing what I could do to help her out. So she blew trail, everybody scattered, everybody went in a different direction. So I'm like, damn, I still gotta help her out. So I just, by default, I kind of became her manager in the beginning of the bid. So when she started coming home, people were just reaching out to me to get shit done. So that's why I kind of ended up in that position.
Like, when people go to jail, people get locked up, like, and it's so unfortunate that that is a situation. But, you know, people commit crimes, people do certain things, so there has to be, you know, consequences and repercussions for their actions. So when people have those, and, you know, they have to do these different bids and all of that, they need somebody strong to stand by them, because at that point, that's when you really find out who's really by your side, or who's really your family, and who really got your back. You know, that's when people show their hand. And, you know, in Remy case, a lot of people like scattered, and her family got against her, went against her. You know, you like seen the clip I showed you guys with her sister, and, you know, just turning against her. A lot of people that she thought loved her, cared about her, really was saying a lot of crazy stuff to her, turning their back on her. And she really was in a state of, she didn't know her worth, she didn't know her importance. Like, she felt like, man, I'm really broken. And Pap really stood by her. Not even just that, like, her son was basically left in the wilderness, and he had to, you know, build himself up, and, you know, basically claw himself out. And I think that that type of situation makes people grow up faster than they need to.
I want to ask you this question. What happened to your eye?
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
I had a fight.
Fighting again, right?
No, I'm not fighting again. I was defending myself.
One time, I can understand if you defending yourself. 2 times maybe, but 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Every time, I was defending myself.
Yeah, like,
I'm
like, using that for excuses.
Look where I get it from. Like bow, just bow. Like, do what I say, not what I do.
Right, good point.
We already know the situation with you being involved in fights and altercations like that could land you into situations that I told you about previously. And I have to tell you, DJ, you can't be out here fighting. And I feel like then you listened. Ever since you turned like 18, you pick and choose what you want to listen to. Let's be clear. I love DJ as if she was my own child. And I need her to understand that she cannot be out here fighting these people in these streets, because she's gonna end up somewhere that she doesn't want to be. Either in prison or worse, in somebody's hospital or morgue because somebody really hurt her. I hope you don't think you low, because you next. I don't like the fact that we're blocked on your social media pages. What? I think it's hilarious. Well, why would you guys want to invade our personal life like that? You don't have a personal life. That's a problem I have. As a kid, I couldn't even close the door in my house. Why I can't have my room door closed? Because what do you need the door closed for? What are you doing? It's secret. What do you want to see in it? What are you hiding? Myself. Like, I'm chilling in there. Hiding myself.
Now, this young man honestly have been moving fast for a little bit. I remember when he had a baby, him and his girlfriend actually had gotten pregnant. I remember at that time, some social media fans speculated that Remy missing her son and his girlfriend baby shower was like purposeful, and a sign that the rapper actually did not approve of his girlfriend Diamond. And the Mommy to Me, however, shut down such rumors with a strong Instagram post. Now, his baby mama posted this. She said, "Me and my baby father is Gucci great, and we both happy to bring Milani onto this world." Diamond wrote this online. She said his mother didn't show up, and that's not the end of the world, nor is it hate towards her. The mom to be continued. She said we gonna continue to stand up and stand tall and be the best parents to our child. And then that was all she said. So he did have a baby not too far away from when his mom had a baby. So his mom had a baby a little ways after, then he had a baby. And he had his first child, I believe, at 18.
Just had a whole platoon of people telling me what to do, how to do it, for 6 years, 4 months, and 5 days. I don't want to keep going by somebody's rigid plan. I don't want to live like that.
In my opinion, I don't think Remy disliked, the son's girlfriend. I think that she just wanted better for her son, She wanted better for her children. She wanted better, better than what she had, better than her experiences. She just did not want that for them. She wanted them to live better, be happier, have businesses, brands, build, all this social media money out here. She just wanted better for them, and she wanted them to make better decisions. And I know this whole situation is heartbreaking. There's been rumors about her her and her husband and them being separated, or them having or going through a divorce, all of that, and then her son's separation. And right now the family's divided. There's a lot going on that's probably not being spoken about, and I just send her healing energy, and I pray for their family as a whole, because they've been a lot more private as the years go on. And I think that a lot of it is to keep Remy Ma safe, keep her quiet, like not quiet as in quiet, but keep her business quiet. Sometimes all that media exposure is never good for business brands, especially if you have like different businesses all around you trying to make a certain amount of money. It's just not good. You don't want to always be in drama, and people are going to always create drama, and you just try your best to stay away from it. So I think that's another part of it. But I think she's very disappointed with how her son's life ended up. I think she wanted more, as any mother would want more for their son. But after you raise your children are your children. They got to do what they got to do, and they're not always going to fall into the pattern that you set for them, or the path that you set for them. They kind of create their own steps, make their own mistakes, and go through their own situations, and he is going to have to learn. It's just so unfortunate, but that's just the reality of it. Hopefully he's innocent. Hopefully he didn't do all this stuff. Hopefully it's a misunderstanding. Hopefully they get out of this. But I send Remy healing energy, and I pray for her mental health, and I pray for her family.